Hello everyone, my name is RetroDen and welcome to another video, and today I want to talk about RPGs from my backlog which I personally think I need to beat. And I want just to tell you what's on my backlog in terms of RPGs and what are some of the ones that come to mind when I think I need to beat some games from my backlog. So these are in no particular order, but they do have something in common, which is these are the RPGs I haven't even touched yet after purchasing. So that's that, and let's get right into the video. Starting off strong with games like The Witcher 3, which is a game I mentioned in my past RPG video, which I really need to play. I have all the DLC for it, and I've beaten The Witcher 1 and started The Witcher 2, even though I've dropped The Witcher 2 because, in all honesty, that game is not good. I didn't like what I played, and I'm not trying to finish it. It's one of the few games I've dropped throughout my entire life, and I don't think I'm going back to it, honestly. If I go back to it, I'll just play it on easy and go throughout it, but I really want to get to The Witcher 3. It's a widely acclaimed game that I personally haven't played, and I want to get to it. I want to talk about it and be able to enjoy everything it has, the open world, the amazing side quests I've heard about, and the interesting combat mechanics which are similar to The Witcher 1 when it comes to the usage of potions. Not really in the literal sense of the combat, because if you've played The Witcher 1 you know it's nothing like that, but The Witcher 3 is definitely a game I'm interested in getting to eventually, maybe sometime this year. Then right after that we have Fallout 4. Fallout 4, a game everyone knows. Fallout London just came out recently. I have no clue what that is. I know it's not an official project by Bethesda, but it's been getting a lot of traction. But I really want to get to Fallout 4. I've played it once. I know I said these games all have 0 hours on my playtime on Steam, but I did play it back on the PS4. I played around like 8 hours, 5 hours. I got to the Deathclaw mission on PS4, but I really wasn't feeling it. But then I bought it on PC a few years later, and I want to get to it eventually. I might want to play maybe Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas first, but I want to start by Fallout 4 because it's probably the one that's more optimized to play on PC, so that was the game I chose. Then of course we had to include some JRPGs in here, so I decided Final Fantasy VI is one of the classics I still haven't played. And if you want to get into Final Fantasies, I've almost missing all the Final Fantasy games. I've only beaten 7 Remake and 7 Rebirth. I've beaten Final Fantasy 1 and that's it. And I have almost all Final Fantasies in my library, so that's kind of a cardinal sin. I know I still have to get to 10, I have to get to 12, I have to get to 16, I have to finish 15, I have to play a lot of Final Fantasies, but 6 is the one that I think that I want to beat first of all, because I love the OST on 6. I've listened to most of it on YouTube, and I think OSTs are something that really pull me towards certain games, and I think this is a good reason for me to beat Final Fantasy VI. Also maybe sometime this year, because it's not that long of a game. Then we have Cotor, or Knights of the Old Republic, a Star Wars game for all of you that don't know. A game I've always been interested in playing, but since I was mainly an achievement hunter, I never got to it. I know I've played The Witcher 1, which also doesn't have achievements on Steam, but I've played Cotor 2, which is the sequel to Cotor 1. Since that one does really have achievements on Steam, and is one I was really interested in because of the lore and some characters that are in the game that really interested me since I was a Star Wars The Old Republic player. But Cotor 1 is a game I definitely have to get to eventually. Next up we have the only game in this list that I had 0 hours, but I played already this year, and this is the game I'm playing right now, so I thought I'd make an exception for it. I know, being kind of hypocritical, but it's Divinity Original Sin 2, a game I've already talked about on this channel. This game was recommended to me a lot when I made my CRPG video, so I eventually got to it. I'm still really early in the game, and I'm trying to find time around making these videos and playing other stuff for videos I need to make and to play it, but so far so fun. You should go check out my video on Divinity if you want to know my thoughts about it for the first few hours, but it's a game I'll probably end up finishing sometime around this year. Then going back to JRPGs, I have a few Persona games in my library, but the first one I want to get to is Persona 4. I want to play Persona 4 as an introduction to Atlas games. I want to play 4, then I want to eventually get to 3 and 5, and maybe some of the SMT games if they go on discount later this year. I want to get SMT 5. I've been holding off on getting them for the Switch because I don't really feel like playing my Switch. I think the console is kind of outdated at this point and the experience is just not that great. But I definitely want to get into Persona, and I think Persona 4 is probably the game I'm going to enjoy the most first, because it kind of set up the format for Persona 5, which was then a better game, but I don't want to start by it, especially because I only have Persona 5 through to family shared libraries, and I want to play my own games first. So Persona 4 it is. Then we have this JRPG I got from a bundle a long time ago, which I wanted to play, which is called Edge of Eternity. It's a game I know shares kind of similarities to Xenoblade. I've seen it put in some lists when it comes to Xenoblade-like games that were on PC, JRPGs that were on PC that were similar to Xenoblade Chronicles. And that's the only reason I want to play it, because I know nothing about this game. I'm literally spoiler free. It's not a well-known game per se, but it's a game that caught my eye and might be a good experience. I think it's not that long, checked on how long to beat, but I'm definitely interested in playing it along the line and maybe get it off my backlog. And to finish off this list, we have none other than Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Dragon's Dogma 2 came out this year, but I still haven't played the first Dragon's Dogma. I don't know if the story is a follow-up from the first one or not, but I want to get to the first one eventually. I know the first hours of Dragon's Dogma 1 are kind of a slog to go through, but I don't mind those slow starts. I mean, most of old RPGs have slow starts and you just have to get used to it because it eventually picks up, it gets better, which is not a good philosophy when it comes to game design, but I mean, these are old games, nothing we can do about it, and I'm definitely hyped to go into it to maybe later explore Dragon's Dogma 2 and see how that fares. But that was it for today's video. Not much, I know, but I wanted to tell you all about some of the RPGs I have in my backlog. I thought you guys might find interesting, since you found interesting when I talked about what were my favorite RPGs of all time. For now, of course. Let's see if one of these can make the list after I beat them, but as always, comments will be answered in due time. Leave them down if you want to say something about it, and other than that, this has been the Retro Den, and I'm out.